Recently in September, Google finished rolling out its latest update known as the Helpful Content Update. And this is great news for content creators who love to make original content, but it might not be great news for SEO experts and brands in India. We will definitely get into why that's the case, but first we will talk about what the Helpful Content Update is. How do you know if your content is actually helpful or not? And then we'll talk about what strategy brands should use, what can content writers do about it, and Google's advice about the same. All the timestamps are on the screen. Welcome to Silver Mantle, where we love to talk about everything that's related to the content industry, whether it's pop culture, content writing, content creation, influencer marketing, or any other marketing channels. If you like topics like this, please do subscribe to our channel. Let's get into it. So, how often has this happened to you? You conduct a search on Google and you click on the first link that shows up. When you open it, you see that the content is not really answering the questions that you had in mind. Like, it's a very meh experience. So then you go back, you conduct the search again, and then you click on the second link. It's happened pretty often, right? This is a user experience that Google wants to change. The idea is to make sure that the search experience for users is much better, and in order to do that, Google has launched new changes to its algorithm. These changes are known as the Helpful Content Update. Now, the main aim of this update is to prioritize content that is written for people, as in people first content, over content that's written for search engines or just for the sake of traffic and rankings. Now, this is obviously, it implies that the rankings of the websites that write content that are only based on keywords and search engine rules will not be as high as websites that write content that are more personalized and basically people first in its approach. Google has said that the idea of this update is not to shake things up, so you're not going to see massive changes to your website right now. But in spite of that, Search Engine Journal has reported that 20% of SEO experts are saying that their sites have seen changes in their rankings already. So this is something that you really should keep in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is that if your website already has a lot of content that's meant for search engines and not for people, if you start publishing people first content even on this website, it will rank. So it's not like they won't rank you because the rest of the website doesn't have people first content. In other words, moving forward, Google's AI algorithms and AI systems are now going to start evaluating the content based on this new rule. Google has published a list of questions that website owners and content creators and brands can use to see whether their content is search engine first or people first. So these questions are as follows. Is the content primarily to attract people from search engines rather than made for humans? Are you producing lots of content on different topics in hopes that some of it might perform well in search results? Are you using extensive automation to produce content on many topics? Are you mainly summarizing what others have to say without adding much value? Are you writing about things simply because they seem trending and not because you'd write about them otherwise for your existing audience? Does your content leave readers feeling like they need to search again to get better information from other sources? Are you writing to a particular word count because you've heard or read that Google has a preferred word count? No, we don't. Did you decide to enter some niche topic area without any real expertise, but instead mainly because you thought you'd get search traffic? Does your content promise to answer a question that actually has no answer, such as suggesting there's a release date for a product, movie, or TV show when one isn't confirmed? Okay, so it's fair to say that many brands or marketing people who may have read this list may have answered yes to many of these questions. Like, I'm not here to judge, I'm not saying, oh, how could you do this, how are you producing such content, because honestly, ranking on Google is not easy. A lot of people take a keyword first approach and they think, okay, let's take a look at what our competitors are doing, and they try to mimic the same thing. A lot of people may not even give a lot of thought to high quality content, because the term high quality content isn't something that is well understood in India. Honestly, like, I'm not trying to put anybody down, but a lot of people will say that, okay, high quality content is something that is grammatically correct. But don't you think that's the bare minimum? Some teams will be like, okay, tone is something that we care about. Other teams might be like, alright, we'll have specific types of subheadings. But beyond that, the actual writing itself is never scrutinized. High quality content is something that is original in thought and in approach. It is well written, it is informative, and it gives the user a good experience. There should be some insight in that content. So, with all of this in mind, here are some strategies that brands can use in order to be more in line with Google's helpful content update and also guarantee high quality content at the same time. 1. Understand reader mentality. I can't tell you how many times I've spoken to marketing managers and even content managers who have said, हाँ let's just create a really super simple and basic blog, वैसे भी आजकल कोई पढ़ता नहीं है. Or then why are you creating a blog just to rank? That is exactly the mentality that Google wants to change, and we really should be changing. If somebody is clicking on an article or a blog, they want to read. So why not make the reading experience a treat for them? Why not write really high quality content pieces that are on par with magazines that people will want to read and can take something away from? Writing is an art. It needs to be treated that way. But the harsh reality is कि इंडिया में content की कोई कदर नहीं है. 2. Don't just copy your competitors. This is a very common practice in the content industry that a team or a brand will look at their competitor's page and they will tell their SEO expert, okay, let's copy the keyword strategy and the content strategy because we want to be like these people. Now, it's okay to benchmark in terms of quality and performance, but copying outright makes your brand a pale imitation of the one that came before it. Like, company A, B, and C will all have that same 800 to 1000 word blog with 2 to 3 keywords, 4 to 5 subheads, and the same points covered in all three. It's even possible that the writer for company C looked at the content written by company A and then wrote it. You know what I mean? So that is not something that we should be doing, because what makes your blog different from the other competitor's blog? I understand that there are some niche topics, there are some basic topics within niches that companies need to target. Like if you are a fintech company, you might want to target things like what is savings or what is term insurance, those basic things. But the approach to this doesn't have to be the same as your competitors, right? That is what will make your blog stand out, your own creativity, your own voice, and your own take on things. 3. Understand search intent. Now, search intent means what is the intention of a customer when they're conducting a search query? What do they want to know? Now, this sounds very obvious and you may have heard it many times before, but the truth is that many brands don't prioritize this. I've worked with many people who will have a random title, but what they want inside the blog doesn't correlate with the title at all. Or they will not care about search intent, they will want to include brand information for like 300 words in a 800 word article that has nothing to do with what the user actually wants. And when you ask them why the titles mismatch, they say because it'll get more clicks or it might rank better because our competitors' titles are ranking better. This is not the approach to take when you're looking at search intent. If I'm searching for something and I click an article and it doesn't have the information that I'm actually looking for, I will bounce off that article. When I bounce off that article, it tells Google that okay, this article does not have sufficient content, and now that the helpful content update is out, Google will know that this article is not helpful. So as a result, your rankings are going to drop. So the effort that you're putting in creating this generic article, it's all going to go to waste in any case. So why not put in a little bit more creativity? So if you want to create people-first content, what should you do? According to Google, you need to ask yourself the following questions. Do you have an existing or intended audience for your business or site that would find the content useful if they came directly to you? Does your content clearly demonstrate first-hand expertise and a depth of knowledge? For example, expertise that comes from having actually used a product or service or visiting a place? Does your site have a primary purpose or focus? After reading your content, will someone leave feeling they've learned enough about a topic to achieve their goal? Will someone reading your content leave feeling like they've had a satisfying experience? Are you keeping in mind our guidance for core updates and for product reviews? So what can you do as a writer now that this update has been rolled out? The answer is simple. You need to add value to your content. Yes, it will take more time than simply looking at reference links and summarizing what they've said. But if you manage to do so, your work and your portfolio will stand out from the competition and you will be able to command a much higher rate, which means more financial freedom. So how do you add value to your work? Well, I recently made this video about Masoom Meenawala and how she adds value in her content. So have a look at it. You can just click on the screen to do so. What do you think of this update? What do you think your life as a writer is going to be like? If you work for a brand, how do you think you're going to change their strategy? Do let me know everything in the comments. I would love to talk to you about all of this. If you liked our video, please subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share this with all of your friends. See you next time.